Good evening from the News and Current Affairs Department of Ablee-Jay Media and Consultancy Incorporated. Welcome to Newspoint. This is 7 hours of news presentation that unfolds major happenings in Buchanan, Liberia. And it's where today is Tuesday, January 10 year as stories we are following. Ahead of 2023 general elections, Ablee-Jay Media investigation reveals that Representative Ablee-Jay has lived up to 85% of his campaign promises. The Liberia National Police have arrested 16-year-old Cyrus Logan in connection to the gruesome murder of 32-year-old Alpha Gray in the 704 community Duporo. And Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson described President Weah as promise breaker, says Weah has desecrated the pulpit of Clan Charter Fellowship Church by preaching without being ordained. Details of this development, including other developments, are all set, including the actuality of the newsmaker. First, let's take our first break to be right back with News Point Bulletin. Those were the headlines. Now the news in details. I am Keziah Sources Chi. Honorable Ablee-Jay is up to 85% of 2017 campaign commitment, Ablee-Jay Media Research has proven. Ahead of 2023 general election, Ablee-Jay Media investigation reveals that Representative Ablee-Jay has lived up to 85% of his campaign promises. Honorable Joe is a member of the House of Representatives who won the 2017 District 3 representative election on the Coalition for Democratic Change ticket. Joe joined the 54 legislature on January 15, 2018, making huge commitments that were captured by the Institute for Research and Democratic Development. In 2017, Honorable Joe promised to ensure adequate funding for district development, support the establishment of county district scholarships for needy students, and provide $3 million Liberian to small business people within the district. Joe also promised to purchase school bus and pave the road to the fairgrounds in the district. Following the commitments made by the lawmaker captured by IRED, Ablee-Jay Media investigation revealed that the lawmaker purchased the school bus and worked with the national government for the pavement of the fairground road. It was also gathered that Joe made good his commitment by providing the $3 million market loan he promised. The lawmaker promised to support the establishment of the county district scholarships for needy students, something he has been committed to over the years. Though Red didn't capture some of the commitment made by the lawmaker, it was also gathered that Joe promised to ensure that a district office is constructed, a project that is currently ongoing but with support from the county social development funds. At the same time, Joe was praised for pushing the Ministry of Public Works for the construction of the Basel University Bridge, for which ground was broken. Though the bridge is yet to be constructed, an alternative route has been created by the Jupiter Construction Company for the movement of students. It was gathered that Joe managed to work with his colleagues for the amendment of Basel College to the university status. Meanwhile, Joe's oversight has had impact, but not to the satisfaction of a portion of citizens who link him to the cigar workers' concerns. Though he made a move for their salaries to be amended, it has yielded no results. The work done by the lawmaker shows that he is currently ahead with 85% of his promises ahead of the election. Citizens and residents in Upper Buchanan, Grand Bassa County on Saturday, December 31, 2022, elected a new leadership of the Upper Buchanan Development Association. to assist the government to steer the affairs of strategic development plans, initiatives, and implementations of the second oldest and historic city in the country, Upper Buchanan. On Sunday, January 1, 2023, the new leadership was inducted for 2 years term at the Charles A. White United Methodist Church in Upper Buchanan. Those inducted were General V. Massaquoi, President, Reverend Dr. Lawrence K. Butler, Vice President, and Ms. Comfort Somerville, Secretary. Others are Ms. Lulu Hammerberg, Treasurer, Mr. Seaford William, Financial Secretary, and Valerie Robertson, Champlain. The historic township Upper Buchanan is located at the point of the Atlantic coast of Liberia on the north shore of the mouth of the St. John River. It is about 3 miles away from city capital of Grand Bassa County. It is bounded by the city of Painsbury, Johntown, and with 3 of the country's rivers, St. John, Benson, and Maclean, flowing into the Atlantic Ocean. Upper Buchanan Township is the wall of Buchanan City. Speaking at the well-attended event, the inducted president of the Upper Buchanan Development Association, Mr. Massaquoi, thanked citizens and residents of the township for reposing their confidence in his team to serve. He observed a few moments of silence for fallen political leader, Councillor Charles Walker Bumskin of the Liberty Party. The president of UPD, who is also the assistant secretary of the Liberian Senate, said they are resolved to carry out 3 cardinal responsibilities, to include to promote peace and unity among members and citizens of Upper Buchanan, to fellowship with brothers and sisters in the community during times of bereavement and celebration of success. Intense security investigation is underway following the seizure of at least 45 assaulted rifles and ammunition at the Freeport of Monrovia. The authoritative independent pub newspaper managed to obtain photos of at least 10 documents, preserved boxes loaded with rifles. Some of the rifles discovered, according to security sources, are mounted with long-range lens glasses to include M203 launcher, American-made M16, and AK-47, among others. The newspaper understands that the consignment was designated for a client whose name is being withheld on the oral. Additionally, security sources informed the independent newspaper Wednesday that a custom officer was earlier arrested and is now reportedly at large. The report on the seizure of the heavy consignment of arms and ammunition has placed security on a high alert. In the capital city, Monrovia, there were a heavy security presence at major intersections and a rigorous search of vehicles overnight. When contacted, Liberia security authorities remained tablet, apparently due to the nature of the seizure and fear of plunge the country into pandemonium. Recently, 100 million cocaine shipments were seized at the very Freeport of Monrovia, following a tip-off by the U.S. Secretary Apparatus to the Liberian counterparts. Still in the news, if you have just joined in, the Liberian Justice Enforcement Agency has disrupted one of its officers, identified as Philip Chipo, for allegedly consuming illicit drugs in Grand Bassa. Philip Chipo was assigned in Grand Bassa as a drugs enforcement officer for more than 5 years before being dismissed. According to reports, Chipo was allegedly involved in criminal activities in the name of the Liberian Justice Enforcement Agency. The dismissal was announced by the LDA County Commander Bishop Zanga in a press statement. Commander Zanga called on citizens to avoid doing transactions with Philip Chipo, adding that he is no longer an officer of the DEA. A former representative candidate Richmond Anderson Jr. and others sent to court on multiple charges for illegally transporting logs from Bapolo to Freeport of Monrovia. Those arrested include Richmond Anderson Jr., Dauda Sisse, Pedro Lee Joseph, and Edward Jalan. Others are Cyril Peter Potter, David Tower, and Prince Wallace. Defendant Anansi and his accomplices were arrested on November 14, 2022 at the checkpoint of Sawmill and Clay in Bowman County. Police investigation revealed that the defendants were arrested. Their arrest was triggered by a complaint filed by Forestry Development Authority Board Chair Harrison Conway. Mr. Conway alleged that the defendants were illegally transporting a 20-footer container of round logs from Bapolo County to the Freeport of Monrovia. The Liberia National Police has arrested 16-year-old Cyrus Logan in connection to the gruesome murder of 32-year-old Alpha Gray, affectionately known as Abby, in 704 Community, Duperoom. Abby was discovered last week laying in the pool of blood in an abandoned building in the 704 community. She was reportedly stabbed multiple times in the chest and her stomach. Police spokesperson Moses Carter told reporter the suspect is currently in police custody and will be charged and forwarded to court. During the police preliminary investigation, Cyrus denied committing the crime but admitted to paying the victim LD $380 for sex. The deceased instead allegedly called criminals to attack him, something that resulted in a fist fight between he and the deceased. Some accounts state that Abby was a known sex worker who was involved in stealing from her clients, while other accounts state that she was a family person with 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. According to family sources, the youngest of Abby's 3 children is a girl and a little over 2 years old. According to family sources with support from the Liberia National Police, the remains of Alpha Gray were taken to the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital for further examination. The remains of the victim was buried on Saturday, January 7, 2022 at the GSA Rosina Community Cemetery. Family sources are concerned about the mystery surrounding the death of their daughter and is calling for justice. Nema County Senator Prince Johnson describes President Weah promise breaker, says Weah has desecrated the pulpit of Funkikong Jata Fellowship Church by preaching without being ordained. Senator Prince Johnson said President Weah can better be described as a promise breaker because the president has resolved to distance him, Senator Johnson, after giving the support of Nema County to win the 2017 presidential election. The Nema County Senator further accused President Weah of awarding high-profile jobs to his kinsmen from the southeast while providing post-board jobs for people of Nema County who supported him in 2017. Senator and Evangelist Prince Johnson made the statement on Sunday when he delivered a sermon at the Cross Chapel for Faith in Painsbury. The Liberia National Police discovered additional boxes of ammunition containing 25 rounds each at the Freeport of Monrovia from the container recently seized by the Joint Security at Freeport. According to LMP spokesman Moses Carter, the latest discovery was the result of additional search carried out on Saturday, January 7, 2023 at the Freeport of Monrovia. In another development, the Liberia National Police also arrested 3 persons in connection to the seizure of the $500,000 Liberian dollars counterfeit banknotes at the Waterside checkpoint in Grand Cape County. Environmental Protection Agency shuts down Feng Shui International, a rock quarry belonging to East International for backfilling wetland, says the action violates Liberia's environmental laws. Liberia's Environmental Protection Agency temporarily shut down the operation of Feng Shui International, a rock quarry belonging to East International. East International is the Chinese firm reconstructing the Rabat International Airport highway. According to the EPA, the Feng Shui International's rock quarry located in Sheffield Township, Makere County, was involved with backfilling a wetland which is in violation of several provisions of the environmental and management laws of Liberia. The political leader of the Liberian People's Party, Councillor Tiawan Ganglo, has vowed to prosecute all warlords in Liberia when elected as president. The renowned human rights lawyer turned politician said it is unfortunate to see individuals who kill Liberians in cold blood serving several high governmental offices without rendering justice to the victims' relatives. Speaking over the weekend in Zwato Town District 6 Neighbor County, Councillor Ganglo stressed that under his leadership as president, there will be no impunity in Liberia. The Liberian People's Party political leader revealed that the culture of impunity has hung a very dark cloud over the nation under the leadership of President George Weah. Councillor Ganglo narrated that shame and disgrace are on all individuals who felt that killing others could give them victory, noting that they were ignorant. He stressed that those individuals will suffer the consequences of their actions under his leadership as President of the Republic of Liberia. And to end the news, a 32-year-old man identified as Jefferson Powell was allegedly beaten to death in Delta Statutory District, Grand County. The incident occurred recently during the morning hours of Monday. According to the police investigation, the late Jefferson was beaten to death as a result of a fist fight. Speaking to our Grand County correspondent, the Crime Services Division of the Liberian National Police, Superintendent Maxwell Tawele, said they are doing all they can to bring the alleged perpetrators to justice. He said with the help of community dwellers, they have arrested 5 alleged suspects and are currently in police custody as the investigation is ongoing. It was also gathered that one of the major suspects, only identified as 720, was on Friday nabbed by the police following days of being on the run. However, residents of the community are demanding the government of Liberia to speedily investigate the matter. That's it for News Point Bulletin. Let's take a short break to be right back with more of our developments. Many thanks for being there and welcome back to the continuation of Newspoint. Newspoint is half an hour of news presentation that unfolds major happiness in Buchanan, Liberia and its way. It comes your way from Monday to Friday beginning at 6 p.m. On today's presentation, here are stories we're following. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, Ablee-Jay media investigation reveals that Representative Ablee-Jay has lived up to 85% of his campaign promises. The Liberian National Police have arrested 16-year-old Cyrus Logan in connection to the gruesome murder of 32-year-old Alpha Gray in the 704 community Duporo. And Neighbor County Senator Prince Johnson describes President Weah promise breaker, says Weah has desecrated the pulpit of Foke Clone Gelative Fellowship Church by preaching without being ordained. We now bring you to our next segment where we introduce the voices of the newsmaker. To our first development, a visually impaired resident of Buchanan, Melvin Napela Joe, has again launched a passionate appeal for humanitarians to help construct a dwelling place for him. Here is Joe speaking to our reporter.
Morning.
Tell the public what's your name?
My name is Melvin Napela Joe, and that is my name.
Melvin, tell us exactly what have you come to us for?
Yeah, I come here because I can see. And young I am, I'm restless, and I'm facing a restlessness problem in my life because I'm ill and also I don't have dwelling place. So unfortunately, somebody helped me with a spot to be a 2-room apartment there. For a man living with disabilities, not doing nothing at all, where I would take money from to build an apartment there. So I decided to come and let people know, people that God-fearing people, people that love human beings, people that care for people, that help people to come and help me in the process, because I don't have money now. So I'm asking people that watching us or that listening to us to please help me when that any amount of money that able to get us in, to get us, because I want to be a late debris there. So at least I can get a sleeping place, because to be passing from church to church to church to church, not get no permanent area to stay, it's not easy. So I sleeping, so now I'm walking, say I forget about myself. If I'm a human being, because it really pay me a lot. Young I am, I go to school and to be living a type of life or condition. So you see that these are problems I'm facing. So I really need our help. I'm asking the public people that will help me in the process that will get our sleeping place.
So are you telling us that you don't have a permanent staying place?
Yeah, I don't have nowhere I stay now. Only at a prayer area, church, at a prayer churches, and I go with the people. I there with the people. We have devotion. We pray. And on sometimes, you know, the people will not tell you say leave my place, but you know, action speak louder than words. And sometimes they will tell you say, oh, we they will, you know, sometimes they will use some words on you. So sometimes they leave me again, then I go to another prayer area. So just from prayer area to prayer area, I just living. So how can the sister bless me with a lay spot to have my one room there?
How long you been part in the visually impaired areas?
Oh, this process started me the time I took my 11th grade. I got my promotion to 12th grade, and I was still in school, and this incidents occurred on me. But since it started on me, I'm just living from prayer area to prayer area, and I'm a motherless child. My mother is not living. I have my father. My father is old. He not even doing nothing. And so it really, you know, and I the only boss child for him, and I was going to school and learning, putting myself together, and I fall into this problem. So I really a need of help, real need of help. Please, I asking people that they more help me in the name of God, in the name of Christ. I will get a place to sleep.
How old are you, Melvin?
I born 95, November 4th. And the coming Friday is my birthday. Even said these days then coming in my life. Sometimes I'm walking at things that you say I don't know him or living human being. Sometimes things I say I'm living but I'm dead because of the conditions I'm faced with. So you see, when sickness you feel, when sickness nobody come around you, people run away from you because of your condition. So this is a situation I found myself in.
So since you begin ill, have not there been immediate family members coming around you?
No family members coming at all. Others try, but they try from the beginning. They just feel the sickness or I will get better quickly or I will see again. So, but they try, there was no way. They feel weaker, they just leave me alone now. I just living a life by the grace of God. I can eat and I can sit.
Melvin Joe, officially impairment in Buchanan, calling on humanitarian to come to his aid to construct a dwelling place for him. To this development, residents of District 13, Massachusetts County, yesterday, January 9, protested at the Capitol building against the Nigerian businessman Tony Lawan for allegedly taking the land. Here is the district lawmaker who addressed the media.
Oh, lawmakers, good to get you. Your people are here on the Capitol building compound, and they are here for a conference. How was it?
Yeah, well, I instructed the Deputy Chief Clerk to do the communication inviting one Tony Lawan and involved in taking people land. So we did the letter, they go on Friday, and we expected him to be here today. Unfortunately, he not appeared. So we're going to do another communication because he told the house closed. And we want to have a conscious meeting with him as to how he think getting it right. Because the case have been since 2011. At that time I was not an honorable man. I then took office 2019 January 15. So they come in January, make me about 4 years in the office. So we on a case, and I will do everything necessary to make sure that the people get their land from Tony Lawan.
He didn't turn up. Was any communication given?
Yes, I said it. I said we did the communication since.
No, for him, he that
He,
didn't
no,
know.
he never said any communication. The community chairman just told me that he instructed some people to come here to represent him, and we are not interested in whosoever he sent here, right? We want to deal with him directly, as to ask him some questions as relate to the issue about the land in May, Georgia, to be specific, at Russia community.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Let's understand where the land is located and how many acres of land are we talking about?
We talking about close to 15 acres of land, and the land is situated between Chocolate City and New Georgia and Russia community.
Is this case in a court?
The case, I was told that the case was in a court, right? But then I called him for conference because at that time they were on a case, it was 2011. Okay. So I only called him today to ask him as to how he get the land, because the land is a swamping land, and moreover, we all know all wet land belongs to government. And moreover, people were living on the land before he went to claim the area.
Okay.
So we called him today to ask him as to how he get the land. But he never appeared.
Is that land situated in your district?
Yes, in my district.
How many persons lived on the place?
We're talking about thousands of residents from the community, from New Georgia or Russia community.
Did they acquire any title deed or so?
Yes, some of them get a deed on the 80s.
For the 80s.
Up to present.
Up to present.
Okay, so the next action, why if Tony Lawa does not appear? What will happen?
Now, writing plan everything back in. Now, we should plan there. I already briefed the speaker on it, so I'm waiting for the arrival of the speaker. The speaker is not in country. So when he appears, we'll open that plan everything invite him and I have to explain. Now, only Tony also pausing, because I also told that he took the slim they had to Steven Tower Estate, where Tower built for the people in Tokyo and he live inside. He said he get it through housing, and also the football fee, Steven Tower Estate football fee. We also fought the senator and I fought him on that fee. We took the fee for him, and the mayor is just going everywhere, claiming places, everywhere. Tuning around, going everywhere, and I also told that this guy, he came in Liberia 1990 as ECOMO.
Okay.
As ECOMO, and he did a lot of things here. When he was a son West Point to Watson Bank at West Point, that's where he was a son. That fellow killed a lot of people here. He was not going on the front line, but rather he was killing people who were there, claiming that they were rebels.
So you have proof to these allegations
I live
that
in
you
West
gave
Point.
me?
I live power plane. That's where I live.
Did you see him kill people?
I saw him beating somebody on the beach. He broke somebody's legs who came back. He used to call him Abu. But he came in the country and changed his name to Tony. I know him.
Is he a business person?
I
Because
don't know. He said he tell the business he's doing. But I don't know.
District number 13, Montserrat County lawmaker there speaking to newsmen. To our last development, former supporters of Buchanan District Representative aspiring Councillor Charles Nebromsky have pledged support to the re-election bid of Representative Matthew Joe. Here is Jimmy Jalan, who read the endorsement statement on behalf of them. We sincerely apologize that we cannot bring you the actuality of that development. Well, that's all the time we have on today's presentation of News Point. But before we leave, here's a recap of the headlines. Ahead of 2023 general elections, Ablee-Jay media investigation reveals that Representative Matthew Joe had lived up to 85% of his campaign promises. The Liberia National Police have arrested 16-year-old Cyrus Logan in connection to the gruesome murder of 32-year-old Alpha Gray in 704 community to Road. And Nima County Senator Prince Johnson describes President Weah promise breaker, says Weah had desecrated the pulpit of Forky Clone Interactive Fellowship Church by preaching without being ordained. Many thanks to all of you for following. Many thanks to all of our reporters and contributors for making this presentation a success. Many thanks to our partners, Cephas Barry, Jeremiah Davis, and Mr. Vadison. On behalf of Ablee-Jay Media and Consultancy Incorporated, I am Keziah Sources. Have yourself a wonderful week. Bye-bye.